Today, my friends, we're gonna talk about a brand new, more brutal vampire survivors-like called REMEDIUM Sentinels. It's a roguelike, fast-paced auto shooter set in the same world as the REMEDIUM game. In this game, you play as a sentinel, created by alchemists with one goal: defend the cities against the endless hordes of mutants until your reactor dies. The story in REMEDIUM Sentinels is pretty straightforward. A plague has mutated the humans and wildlife of this universe into monsters that seek to destroy anyone that stands in their way. Players take control of a capable sentinel powered by alchemy as they seek to protect the small number of remaining cities. It's a grim world, but as a sentinel, you're the only hope for the remaining survivors. Just as many other vampire survivors-like games, nothing too fancy when it comes to the story, but hey, at least there is one. There is a ton of vampire survivors-like games out there that doesn't even have a story. This one do. When it comes to the gameplay in this game, it revolves around the ancient practice of kiting. Players only control the movement of the sentinel, which auto-attacks. Initially, a slow trickle of angry birds is moving in to attack, and some of them drop gold and prime matter, and those are required for upgrades and new weaponry. The game's core loop is all about surviving as long as possible while trying to learn which abilities best suit your playstyle. Death comes pretty quick in REMEDIUM Sentinels, and when it happens, it's time to see if there's enough money in the alchemical treasury to get an upgrade. Then, it's once more into the kiting fray to try and survive for longer periods and maybe even kill a boss. In other words, the core gameplay loop is exactly as in any other vampire survivors-like game. Survive as long as possible and pick up as much as possible, weighing in the risk versus reward with picking these items up. Is it worth risking to die to grab some more XP? The upgrade system in this game is where things get really interesting. Pick up enough prime matter and an option pops up to choose between 3 potential upgrades. A machine gun can be a good idea, or maybe a pulsating damage area around the sentinel sounds better. It's totally up to you. You gotta keep moving to avoid incoming enemies and pick up more upgrade material. The longer you last, the stronger you become, gaining access to even more skills, weapons and enemies to defeat. And again, this is just like in any other vampire survivors-like game. However, the system in this game, it works well and it's really addictive. You never know what upgrade is coming next, and the whole casino feeling of trying to grind for something and not knowing how much or what you will get, it is really addictive. And that's why I think this genre is thriving as much as it is, because it is the casino feeling but without playing in a casino. The rogue elements in REMEDIUM Sentinel are a little undercooked. The game needs to either drop more gold or reduce prices for the various upgrades. The world also feels empty and there's very little innovation for the ability system. However, Sobaka Studios plans to keep taking feedback from the players and adding content for about 1 year before moving to a full 1.0 launch. And when it comes to the world, rogue elements and abilities, that's where this vampire survivor-like game can stand out from the swarm of VS-like games coming out right now. However, in its current state, it fails to do so. A lot more needs to be added to this game, and we need to see some kind of innovation that we don't see in all other VS-like games, because right now there's nothing unique about this game, which is kind of essential when you have tough competition out there. When it comes to the presentation, REMEDIUM Sentinels does a good job at it. I love the look and feel of the sentinel, and it somehow feels as I imagine an alchemy-powered sentinel to feel like. And the enemies, they are okay. They could be more fun, but the blood splatters as you kill them and the great sound design and music really adds to the feeling as hordes of enemies marches against you. So, I mean, the enemies, they are okay, but they could definitely be more. So in conclusion, guys, REMEDIUM Sentinels could be an interesting game, but it needs to develop quite a bit during its early access period. The core idea needs to be refined with a wider range of potential upgrades and more suitable options. The game also needs to get a little bit weirder when it comes to the enemies and player abilities. However, the game does have an insane replayability, making it a good choice for fans of the VS genre. So, if you're up for the challenge of defending the survivors against the endless horde of mutants, I actually do highly recommend REMEDIUM Sentinels, especially since its full price is a whopping $3 only. And for even more awesome games, don't miss these videos.